What is the opposite of drama? Imagine a day without stress. No controversies, no fake scandals that get blown out of proportion, no frustration with grading companies, no eBay sellers who wait a fortnight to ship your card, no FOMO, no nothing. Yesterday, I had a really good day. And in this episode of The Shallow End, I'm going to tell you all about it. I'm Dave Schwartz, Iowa Dave Sports Cards on Instagram, and I can't tell you how grateful I am that you've chosen to share a few minutes out of your busy day with me. Thank you. I was off work yesterday. I had just finished a major project, and I knew I could take the day to myself without having anything major pile up on me. The kids had school. It was too cold to do much with the dogs outside, so they got to lay around and be lazy. So I decided the night before that I was going to pamper myself with a day of nothing but sports cards. And that's what I did. From the time I woke up to the time I went to bed, if my kids or dogs didn't need something, I was going to be doing something related to sports cards. Think of it like a spa day for someone in the hobby. First thing I did was wake up early because I was excited to get going and hit the gym with a couple of podcasts in my ears. Mike Moynihan's Golden Age of Cardboard recently returned from hiatus, and the show has been on fire since its return. In this episode, he interviewed Dr. Beckett, so you knew it was going to be good. When that was over, I jumped over to the 1988 Topps podcast episode about Buddy Bell. This was a guy that was present throughout so much of my childhood. They tried to make the case that Bell was a borderline Hall of Famer, but I'm not so sure. I came home and made sure the kids were getting ready for school. They were, without having to be nagged. The day was getting even better. I made breakfast and put on some YouTube content. A little spitball on cards, followed by an episode of the Mangini Collection. Then I got to work on future episodes of The Shallow End. I'm in the middle of putting together a new limited series, similar in tone to last year's 27 decisions, but focused on something different. I sent out links and prep emails to some of the guests, then got to interview not one, not two, but 3 people. Some people I've known for a little while, and it was really nice to catch up. Others I got to meet for the first time. That took a few hours. I made lunch, swiped open my phone, and scrolled Instagram. There are few things better in this hobby than checking IG when you haven't checked it for a half day or so. It's like walking into your favorite store and they've swapped out all their old inventory for new stuff. There's always something to look at, always someone to talk to. I replied to a few DMs and got into a couple of fun conversations about card-related and card-adjacent topics. It was nice. It's always lovely to catch up with people. Next, I took the dogs outside to do their business, brought them back inside for a biscuit and some belly rubs, threw on a hat, and went to my LCS. The owner and the people who work at my LCS are wonderful people, very kind, always helpful. They love to talk cards and sports, but you never know what you're going to get there. They're more focused on boxes than singles. So if they're busy with other customers, which is great for their business, it's not a place I really want to hang out because what singles inventory they do have typically doesn't match what I collect. I thought going during the middle of the day when school was in session and most adults were working would help me sneak in at a time when it wasn't too busy, and I was right. One guy was doing inventory, another seemed to be prepping a PSA submission. I picked my moments to not get in their way of their job, but I still got my fix. We chatted for a bit. I love asking them about the modern state of their allocations, like what's hot. Just shoot the breeze, kind of learn about the business side, and they're always willing to share with me. And that's what we did. And then it was time to go, so I bought a few supplies and I left. So about a week ago, I finally started my binder. It's the first binder I've tended to since I was a kid, and I've got to say, I'm already hooked. I decided I'd play around with it after dinner. Before dinner, I had to drive one of the kids around, make food, typical life stuff. But when I got home, it was like divine intervention. There, waiting in our mailbox, was my latest ComC order, delivered a day early. Each day, we get that USPS update about what the mail is coming in, but according to them, the ComC package wasn't supposed to come until the next day. But there it was, on a day dedicated just to sports cards, sitting in my mailbox on the same day I had a date with my binder. And that wasn't all. 2 other cards arrived. A Rick Ankiel I had bought a couple of weeks earlier, and a card acquired in a trade with Dan, who was at Lakeside Collects, and his family, his kids. It was this bounty of cards sitting in our mailbox, and I couldn't wait to tear open the packages. But first, I got to record another interview for the series. Then eat some dinner, then catch up over the phone with my wife, who was out of town for work. Then, as the night was winding down, I went downstairs and finally pulled out my binder. Opened the ComC package and the other 2 envelopes and just lost myself in the cards for a while. After a while, I put the cards away, watched a little TV, took the dogs outside again, climbed into bed, put on a card podcast, and drifted off to sleep. As I wrap up this episode, I think it's worth pointing out that this episode had no bigger message, no moral, no meaning. It exists just to show the hobby that sometimes you can have a good day. It's not life-changing. There were no epiphanies. It was just for one day. For one day, it was just a hobby. No drama, no identity building. I didn't buy anything. I didn't sell anything. No real adrenaline rush. No planning for national. No redefining my PC. Today was just about 2 things: the cards and the people. And that was plenty. That was far more than enough. I feel replenished. I feel satisfied. And I hope at some point you can have a day to feel satisfied too. Thanks for listening to The Shallow End. Until next time, take care.